Hey, what's up guys? Walrus here, and today I'm bringing you a video about my favorite PTW in Battlefield 3, the AS VAL. I like to call it my dirty little secret. Now, this thing is an absolute beauty, clocking at an incredible 900 rate of fire, and it is internally suppressed, which means that you will be able to flank the enemy team quite efficiently, while still keeping a very low time to kill. This thing kills as fast in close quarters as the AEK, and even faster than some other assault rifles. So this thing is an absolute monster if you can control it in close range. Luckily, the recoil is very predictable. It's got a negligible amount, and it's quite easy to control, especially if you're good at controlling some of the higher recoil weapons in the game, such as the G3 or the AEK. You should have no problem with this weapon. Now, the first thing that you're really not going to probably like about this weapon is the fact that it takes 200 kills, incredible 2 service stars, to unlock extended mags, which I think is vital, imperative to this gun actually being used effectively. The reason why is simply 21 bullets in most close quarters battles in this game is enough, but when you get in a room with, say, 2-3 people, you're not going to be able to drop them unless you have extended mags. And I do clear a couple of rooms of 2 or 3 people in this video. They'd be able to see, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without extended mags. Now, the laser sight is not a bad attachment on this gun, because this gun does have amazing hip fire. However, extended mags is just so much of a better choice, because in the long run you're going to get more out of it. Now here you see me poking along this head glitch. This gun has amazing accuracy, especially when crouched like I am. It's really good at picking people off, and that is pretty much the perfect range for the AS VAL. You want to keep it pretty close because the damage drop off, since it is a PTW, is pretty extreme. However, in this range, in close quarters, it is absolutely devastating. Now, because I am suppressed, I'm not showing up on the mini-map, so I advance here to try and get in front of my team and do what I would not be able to do back there, and that is push and advance, and that is how I like to play. You'll notice that a lot. I do not like to sit back. I like to call it PTFO ADD, because I simply cannot go, I cannot support the play style of a bipod support player or a mountain, a sniper rifle toting mountain recon man. It does not fit my play style, and I like weapons that succeed very highly in close quarters, and AS VAL is one of those weapons. Now, that's why in my assault kit, the M16 and the AK are my top 2 weapons there. They're incredible time to kill in close quarters, including some manageable recoil and high rates of fire, including some nice reload speeds. Now, that is one thing about this weapon that I really like, is the reload speed. It really allows you to reload and get back into the action very quickly, as you see here. And at that range, as you can see, you really have to tap fire, but it's something that you'll learn to do very quickly with this weapon. And you can easily pull a 20 to 22% accuracy with this gun quite easily, unlike some of the other PTWs. Now, with this one, unlike, say, the MP7, where you will find yourself using a laser sight, because you can have that and extended mags on at the same time, you're going to be ADS on this weapon a lot more than the MP7, a lot more than, say, the P90 even. The reason being is, well, it does have the same hipfire spread. You're not going to be having a laser sight, so it's got a larger incentive to ADS. And here you see me really, this is probably my favorite way to actually peek this lane, because you are so far back and you're pretty hard to hit, especially when they're first spawning. It is a little cheap what I do here, because I hate it when I first spawn there, if I'm trapped on A and someone's picking me off, but it's effective. And it's the other team, and I'm helping my team win by doing this, by really dropping their numbers. And that's pretty much max range for the AS VAL. Main reason I'm getting a lot of kills here is because I'm able to remain stationary, and they're pretty oblivious as to what's going on. I mean, they're spawning into death trap. It's definitely what I'm doing is pretty easy. So if you ever really want to peek that, I would not recommend going up into that atrium, because in the atrium you can get shot from at least 5 directions, several of which are not going to be covered in a pub, because blueberries are just not going to look at where the enemies can be, because a lot of people that play this game are very narrow-minded And while that's, you know, I'm not saying they're bad, it's just that they don't have the same mindset that a lot of other players do, where they look at the different angles of attack that the other team can use, and because of that, it can get you killed quite a lot, and it can be pretty frustrating. So I always try to, in pubs, play angles that are covered from the back, even though they might not be as effective. Certainly, you can get a lot of kills pretty fast by pushing some lanes, but it's just not worth it. And here you see a corner camper that I took out quite easily. 2 reasons he's bad. One, he was corner camping, and one, he was playing engineer on this map. I absolutely detest people that run engineer on these maps. You're not helping the team at all. Support isn't as bad if you actually drop ammo, but as you can see on my team, there's very few supports that actually drop ammo. If you look at the ratio of support players to ammo boxes on the map, it's pretty pathetic. Now, here, upcoming, you'll see a good little back rage I get with this weapon. This is the biggest redeeming factor of this weapon that makes it my favorite PDW, is the fact that it is internally suppressed. Now, you can put a suppressor on some of the other PDWs, but their performance is negatively affected, and I don't like that. However, with this weapon, it's kind of, you get used to it being negatively affected by the suppressor, and you adjust your playstyle to be as such. If you really wanted to use a PDW at long range, you're doing it wrong. And so I feel like the suppressor is something that you can kind of get over and look at the positives more so to definitely outweigh the negatives when it comes to close quarters, because face it, if you really want to use a PDW on Metro, I would not recommend this. I would recommend using, say, the MP7, the P90, the UMP. The UMP is probably the best long range PDW in my opinion. But anyways, here is the back rage I get, and the reason I think it is so effective is, well, one, of course, the other team is oblivious. A lot of the just the pub players in this game can be pretty oblivious. If you get behind them, they will not know where they're getting shot from. They'll think it's coming from in front of them. They won't pay attention. Now, I'm not showing up on the mini-map here because the AS VAL is suppressed. It allows me to really pick off a couple of guys before I get much in the way of reinforcements to all the dead people. And even then, the fast reload allows me to pop off 3 more kills before I just get overwhelmed and die. But it was worth it because I really allowed my team to push forward, and I really got them off that flag, which allowed my team to cap it. So it's good, and it's just an extremely effective weapon, especially if you like to flank. If flanking is your you know, sort of play style, then this gun is just for you, and I think you'll enjoy it.